Now, the goldfish are the traditional pond fish that most people kind of go with, but I'm going to show you a few other species that I definitely like for a pond fish, especially if you have a smaller pond and you're looking for something just to keep out the mosquito larvae and things like that. Welcome to the Tye-Dyed Iguana, guys. I'm Eric, and I'm going to show you some of the stuff that we do carry for you people with ponds. Now, we don't carry koi, some of those monster guys, just because most people in our area don't have a pond big enough for koi. We do have some different types of goldfish in here, so I'm going to highlight those, and then a few other cold water species that would definitely tolerate our weather around here. Some of them may not handle it as much, so depending in the winter, you may need to bring some of those guys in. But let me show you a few that we do have. Down here, we do have a few different types of orandas. So right now, I just have some red orandas, some smaller guys. I have one bigger one. And then I do also have a high fin banded shark in here. Now, those high fin banded sharks are really cool. Those guys will last in your pond year round. They can tolerate some pretty cold temperatures. Right now, as a baby, they are gorgeous. They're black and white striped with a really nice tall fin. As they mature, they get a little bit more of a reddish kind of brown color, like a burnt red, but they are really cool. Over here, we do have a few different of the Sarasa comets, some different colored comets in there. A few of them are just kind of orange, which we got in, but most of the Sarasas are gonna have that white with the nice red spots. Over here, I have some lionhead ranchus. Now, the lionhead ranchus are hilarious to me because they do not have any dorsal fin, so they're pretty interesting to look at. They kind of seem a little dumpy, but they are definitely really cool. We also have black moor in there. Now, the black moor goldfish may not be the best for ponds because it's going to be hard to see, especially if you have that black bottom in the pond like most ponds are. And then we do also have shabunkin, which are very similar to koi in coloration. They get a lot of that really nice patterning, but they do not get nearly as big as a koi. They're maxing out around like 14 inches, so nothing completely crazy. Now, the goldfish are the traditional pond fish that most people kind of go with, but I'm going to show you a few other species that I definitely like for a pond fish, especially if you have a smaller pond and you're looking for something just to keep out the mosquito larvae and things like that. So first off, the one I really like for small ponds, even big ponds if you kind of want to school, are going to be the white cloud mountain minnows. Now, depending on the size of your pond and the color of your liner, things like that, the standard white clouds may not work as well, but these guys can tolerate cold temperatures. They can easily breed in your pond. They are an egg scatterer, but they tend to form a nice school and kind of go together and kind of go throughout the tank. If you do have a darker bottom in your tank and you want something a little bit brighter in color, but you do like those white clouds just to eat some of that mosquito larvae, some things like that, I do also have the golden white clouds. Exact same care, everything's the same about them, but they're more of an albino variety. So they have that bright white gold color with a nice red tail. They look really awesome from above if you're kind of viewing those in your pond. The next one that I'm going to talk about to you guys is going to be our Florida flagfish. Now, they are US native, they are out of Florida, so they can handle some cooler temperatures, but those guys, depending on how cold it gets, if you don't have a heater, things like that in your pond, you may want to move them in the winter. But the nice part about them, they eat algae like crazy. So they'll definitely help control that hair algae in your pond and do a great job with that. Now, I will tell you the males can be kind of territorial. They do roughly like a 2 square foot area for each male just for breeding purposes. But if you go with a bunch of females, you should have no problem. But they are definitely an awesome one. Downside to them though, they aren't as colorful to really look at from above. So they're more of a maintenance fish than anything. Last, but definitely not least, a lot of people like to have a common pleco in their pond. The common pleco does do really well at eating a lot of that algae, kind of keeping it clean. They will get very big outdoors in your pond. So you do want to make sure that you have somewhere that you can move them in the winter or fall rather. They are not going to handle the cold that we have around here. So you want to make sure that you have somewhere that you can put those guys over the winter just to make sure it is safe to move it back into the spring the next year.